What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video. You already know what I need you to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell because it does go a long way with helping out the channel, man. Listen, if this is your first time, bro, I already know why you're here. You're tired of releases on your keyboards, your laptops, and your desktops, and you're tired of being manipulated and dominated by female culture, man. You are in the right place, man. If you want to support the channel, all you have to do is follow the instructions in the comments. My Cash App is in the comments pinned to the top. I appreciate everybody's support, everybody who has supported the channel. Much love to you, man. So let's get into this video, first video of 2025. So this story is going to come from Daniel chapter 3. And what I really want for you guys in 2025 is to really be passionate about your spiritual purity, about your walk with God. And so three guys that we're going to analyze today is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Some of you may already know the story. Some of you may not. But I encourage you to go into the book of Daniel and read the book of Daniel and see what I'm talking about. I'm going to summarize this. I'm going to read some passages from scriptures, and then I'm going to get into, how this applies to you, to me, and to anyone watching this video. So we're going to start in Daniel chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 9. It says, they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. You have issued a decree, O king, that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold, and that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to you, O king. They neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold you have set up. So King Nebuchadnezzar, a renowned king in the Bible, very popular figure in the Bible, he made a decree that anyone who doesn't worship this image of gold, when they hear the music, when they hear the lyre, when they hear the tarps, that if they don't fall down and worship at that very moment, if they don't worship this image, this graven image, then they will be thrown into blazing fire. Okay? But there were three Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who refused to obey the king's command in this regard because they didn't believe in that God and they trusted in their own God. So we're going to keep going into the story. So verse 13 says, furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, lyre, harps, pipes, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hands? This is my favorite part. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it. And he will rescue us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Then it says Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude towards them changed. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than it was before. And so they were thrown into the fire. To make a long story short, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego put their faith and trust in God. And God did deliver them from the burning flames. And when Nebuchadnezzar went to check on them, he saw 4 men in the fire. And he said he saw one who had the appearance of the Son of God. And when they came out of the fire, he called them out of the fire. Their clothes didn't smell like smoke. They had no effects of the burning furnace on them whatsoever. And the king made a decree that anyone who disobeys or says anything ill about the God of these three men, that they would be thrown into the furnace. Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring this story up is to point out that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were willing to die. They were willing to be burnt alive, even if God didn't come through and deliver them. They were willing to be burnt alive in a burning furnace, to suffocate and to be inflamed and engulfed with fire, to lose their lives, to lose their families, to lose whatever wealth they may have acquired, to lose their children, to basically disappear from this earth and become ashes because they refused to bow down and worship the image that Nebuchadnezzar created. The question is, if these men were willing to give their lives not to fall down and worship the image, what are you willing to do to not masturbate? What are you willing to do to not watch pornography? What are you willing to do to not commit adultery, to fall into various sexual sins? What are you willing to do? Because the pain of not masturbating, the pain of not committing adultery, the pain of not committing sexual immorality by watching pornography can't be compared to the pain of instantly losing your life. When we look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we have to have this same attitude when it comes to sin. We can't be cavalier with the matter. We can't just think that or rely on God's grace so much so that we continue on in sin. These men were willing to give up their lives even if God didn't come through and rescue them. They were willing to give up their lives. They were willing to give up their lives because they loved, believed, trusted in God that much. The question is, how much do you love, believe, and trust in God? Do you love God enough to be willing to die for what you believe in? Do you love God enough not to masturbate? Do you love God enough not to watch pornography and desecrate keyboards, laptops, and desktops? Do you love God enough not to endure the resistance of the flesh, to gratify and to satisfy the flesh temporarily? Do you love God more than that? The reason you are still struggling with sin is because there hasn't been that defining moment to where you say to yourself, I cannot do this anymore. This is serious, guys. If you want to elevate in the realm of the spirit and you want to live above the appetites of the flesh, you have to live in the spirit and you have to have a resolve. If you don't have a resolve, you have to ask God to give you a resolve against sin. Look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They was about to lose their life. What are you losing? What are you losing by not masturbating? They were getting put in a burning furnace. What are you losing by not watching pornography? They were willing to lose their life. What are you losing by turning away from sexual immorality, fornication, idolatry? What are you losing? Is it more than your life? Is it more than your life? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were willing to lose their life not to worship this image. What are you willing to lose in order to not worship the God of masturbation, the God of pornography, the God of sexual immorality, adultery, and all of these various sexual sins? What are you willing to lose? I want you to take this message seriously. Hit the like button for your boy if you're getting value out the video. What are you willing to lose in 2025 and beyond? What are you willing to lose? To not masturbate, to fornicate, to commit adultery. What are you willing to lose, man? What are you willing to lose? Friends, relationships, temporary pleasure that's going to make you feel like crap when you're finished? Come on, bro. I really want this year is the year of elevation, where you guys are going to elevate spiritually, and you're going to walk above the reach of the flesh. This year we're going to go deep into spirituality so that you can walk in the spirit. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about this channel and the spiritual growth that we all are going to take part of. I love you guys. I'm excited. It's time to get it in. It's time to man up. It's time to improve ourselves. And not just because it's the new year, but it can also be because it's the new year. But we're going to set the trend. We're going to set the pace. We're going to blaze the trail. But it starts with discipline, and it's having a resolve. And it's asking yourself, do you love God enough? Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to turn away from masturbation. They turned away from falling down and worshiping a beast, not a beast, but an image. And they said that even if God doesn't deliver them, they would never bow down and worship that false god. What are you willing to do not to worship the false god of masturbation, sexual immorality, and the like? Put it down in the comments what you were willing to do. Tell me what you're willing to do this year in 2025 and beyond. Put it down in the comments. I want to know. Come on, stand on business. I want you to stand on business and put it down in the comments. And what you put down in the comments as far as what you're willing to do, stand on business. Stand on business, man. This is Hold My Nuts Podcast, man. I hope you got value out of this video. I'm going to holler at you guys in the next one. Oh, if you want to support the channel, just send your boy the cash app. I love you. Peace.